A lot of times the fair exchange here is not fair at all. You thought it was love, she just rated you out. This is a scam. It really is. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, the Black Filipino TV. So we're gonna get into this today. Fair exchange in the Philippines, and in many different ways it's a scam. I know what you guys are thinking. Wait a minute, but it's a fair exchange, right? Not in all cases. Sometimes you get into a situation where you're just being waited out, where the woman will actually talk with you. And a lot of times it happens online, but it does happen in person. They talk with you, and then they test the limits. Now I'm going to get into more of how they test the limits, and the things that's done in many different ways. It's actually a scam. Let's hop right into that, guys. This guy is the latest of many victims. Shown to a Filipina, Facebook, right? She says to him, "Hi, baby." And he's like, "Hey, baby, what's going on?" She hits him with the, "I'm not feeling good." So then he said, "Why, what's wrong?" "I need money for my father. He's in the hospital." He fell for it.
What?
This happens to guys all the time. The sad thing about it is he fell for it, sent her the money, then after, she blocks him.
What's wrong with you?
This guy is sent in pesos, the difference between pesos and dollars. She could have told him, hey, she told him, hey, I need $500 or $1,000. In pesos, $500 is 25,000 pesos. $1,000 is what? 50,000. So it's quite a lot of money. But he fell victim. Of course, it's going to be easy to convince someone of that amount because where guys are usually from, that's how much hospital bills will cost. It happens, and he fell victim. I feel sad because not all Filipinos are like this, but you have some that do this, and the most Filipinos get judged by it. Most of the time, you guys come to the Philippines looking for love, and you know what? Most of the times you will find that love. And of course, everyone knows relationships, they cost money. That's the fair exchange. Guys that come here may be a little older, and then the Filipina may be younger. She may be in need. She's younger, you're older. The fair exchange is that you get the love, and a lot of times, Filipinos will give you the love you need. You go through situations where you're broken and forgotten, and women where I'm from don't look at older men, even a lot of guys the same as Filipinas would. So that's the fair exchange. But what happens is the other side of that happens, and I'm going to explain that, and I'm going to get down to that. A lot of times guys are waited out until it's too late and they don't know. What's really not fair about it is when these types of situations happen. I'm going to explain it. That's where men end up giving, this is a situation, men end up giving 600 to 800 in allowances. And I see this happen to guys on a regular basis. And in their minds, it's a fair exchange. They're giving 600 to 800 allowances, and then find themselves in a position where the Filipina will wait them out. They'll actually wait them out to get them in their good graces. Of course, it's kind of like, it's a situation like someone will get you in their clutches, and then can keep cranking the gas a little bit, right? And then it's like, look at the example of, say, when I used to drive on the highway, right, going from New York to Virginia, right? Of course, you want to get there faster. You want to get there within 3 hours or 4 hours instead of 5 or 6. So what you do, you play with the gas. And that's sometimes what happens to guys out here. But women will do that. They'll play with the gas, meaning crank up the gas a little bit. Look like how you crank up the gas looking for the police. Say you do 80 miles per hour, then you drop the speed down. What they'll do is they'll say, I need this. Or they'll wait you out and, oh, well, I do need some money. Especially over this past pandemic. You guys are probably going through this with ladies. Oh, I need this. Or, oh, you know what? That doctor's appointment came up. Oh, and keep throwing situations at you. And then see how you react. Because some guys will say, oh, well, some guys won't be going for it. But then some guys look at it and go, it's cheaper to keep her. Oh, you know what? That 2,000 pesos you needed, I got you. Oh, you need 10,000 for this? I got you. And then you keep doing that, then, oh, you need another, oh, your aunt needs money? And I've spoken to guys even most recently who are in situations where they're with women and their family members are coming out the woodworks. And it was one guy I just spoke to the other day. I asked him to email me. He said he was in a situation, I won't even mention his name, but he was in a situation where he was with a Filipina here. He came to the Philippines and he ended up paying most of the family's hospital bills. So every time a problem happened, she kept coming to him. Now the thing is, with situations like that, right? I explained it before. It's a dangerous situation where, once you cut it off and you're here in their clutches, that's when you're subject to being a murder victim, things like that. And I hate to be negative, but it's true. These things happen, and I felt bad for the guy. I asked him to contact me, but still, all in all, this is what happens. Guys end up in their clutches, and they take full advantage. Of course, they're not going to rush into it right away. They have to test the waters. Some of you guys will fall for it. I mean, it's not hard at all, in a way. Some women are geniuses when it comes to ripping guys off. It starts out subtle, increases slowly. And guys have to always remember, we actually love harder than women. Because love is really a logical thing. True love is more logical than feelings. And honestly speaking, women, they do this based off their emotions, which isn't really reliable. Guys love harder because we love with logic, and then we add feelings into that. That's why we get more crush when a situation happens to where a guy finds out a Filipina is using him. By the time he finds out and realizes, it may be too late, maybe a year, 2 years later. And that's what makes, in some situations like I just explained, that's what makes it a scam. That's when it's really a scam, when you're being waited out. And it happens to a lot of guys. They're waited out. And especially it happens online, but it can even happen in person. Tons of stories that I hear, guys. It's crazy. It happens all the time. That's why a lot of times the fair exchange here is not fair at all. It's not even robbery. I mean, it is robbery because it's a scam. Men are being stuck up without a gun. Guys have to really understand this and understand certain situations when things are being brought up slowly. Sometimes that's when it's in the works. And I explained this before in a past video. I had to say it again, but my brother Haas happened when he was talking to a Filipino online. 3 months after, she brought up her family was sick, stuff like that. And he knew it right away. And that's usually how it starts. It even happens in person. So a lot of times, Filipinas hit you with the instant love. It's the same situation like when you're in the Philippines, you get an instant girlfriend like that. You get an instant I love you. Everything is instant, so you have to tread very carefully so you don't end up in that scam situation of the fair exchange because of how fast things happen. And the crazy thing about it is sometimes it's somewhat real, so it'll be very hard for some guys to differentiate the two because it's slowly, and that's what makes it so tragic, is that it happens slowly. Then it's just too late. It's just too late for a lot of you guys. Typical guys all the time. This happens. They don't give up. They end up dating again. Say something may happen again. They end up finding another one again, and then that one is the real one. I've even been through situations somewhat similar, before K. And I didn't give up and say, you know what? I almost gave up and said, I'm not dealing with Filipinos no more, because you'll feel like that. Like, wait a minute. Maybe dealing with Filipinos is not the fair exchange. Just in general. It's not the fair exchange. It's like with me and Kay, right? Our situation is a fair exchange. She didn't care about the money. She waited it out, and she actually waited it out for love. Situations like that, it makes guys feel comfortable. And I even had a guy mention to me yesterday. He said to me, it seems like women in Thailand are more for black guys than women in the Philippines. Because I keep seeing vloggers with white guys. It's like, no, man. Women in the Philippines like all guys. Black, white, green, yellow, blue, red. No matter what nationality you are, you're going to find a Filipino to love you. So that guy, I answered him already, but that's your answer. I've had plenty of stories where I've spoken of my friends that were used, that were black, for sex. I've spoken of, and there's so many black guys that I've came across that are brought their Filipinos to the U.S. that are black. Filipinos are still with them now. It's not true. Of course, they prefer white men more, but Filipinos love all men. So that thing about women in Thailand loving them more, that's just not true. Looking for a woman, I say, you know what? Go experience both. I'm not saying to go out there and be a player, but I say, you know what? Go to Thailand. Come to the Philippines. See what you get yourself into. There's guys in the past that have done both, and there's guys that still go back and forth to both. And then they'll find a woman in Thailand, maybe that won't work out, or they'll find a woman in the Philippines that may not work out. But I do know what you'll find is that you'll find, if you want a woman that's usually a little thicker, the best choice would probably be the Philippines more so than Thailand. You do have some there that are thicker, but for the most part, you're gonna find that in the Philippines. But still, it's not true. I've even seen a video that Big Truck Series did when he was out here. And the video was titled, "Black Man, They Do Love You in the Philippines," where he was in Cebu interviewing Filipinas and showing the situation where Filipinas were just saying, hey, I like black guys, I like all guys. And it's true, they will date you. Don't count the Philippines out because of what you may have seen in the vlogs. You've seen Filipinas with white men. That happens. For the most part, that's what they want. But still, you will find a place here. With all that being said, I say this: don't get weighted out. Keep your eye open. Keep your eye open for the red flags. You'll see them right away. All right, and don't fall in love too fast, because women will tell you that. Women from here, oh, I think I'm starting to love you already, or I think I'm starting to have feelings for you. And a lot of times that could be a situation where they're just trying to string you along to get in there. It happens in person. It even happens online. But yeah, guys, don't get caught in the waiting game, and also don't get caught up in that fair exchange, thinking in your head, oh, she's poor, this is her situation. That may not be the case. She could be waiting you out. Keep your eyes peeled. So that's it. That's what happened, and it's real that this happens, and happens all the time. You guys hear about it. You hear thousands of stories about it. And when you're in a situation, when you're with a woman, sometimes you may not know. Some guys may not know. Not every guy has that emotional intelligence, that relationship intelligence, to be able to tell when they're being waited out. Because I've spoke with tons of guys who would ask me questions and just didn't know. A lot of guys just don't know these situations. And for the most part, guys are coming here, guys want to be with someone, guys aren't coming here looking to be players. So that's why this can happen to them. A lot of times guys may not get the attention over there in the West. So this happens. Then they come over here looking for love and they bump into the situation. But guys, it's tragic that it happens. I hate that it happens, but it's gonna continue to happen until the sun stops burning in the sky. That's when it'll stop. But guys, thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you like my content, be sure you can check out the PayPal. Also, you can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/JTBF. Also, guys, I'm doing consultations as well. If you're looking for income and you want to be able to make an income out in the Philippines, I'll definitely be able to help with that. You can contact me at buymeacoffee.com/JTBF. Guys, see you next video. Don't let this happen to you, because it can happen to anybody. Peace out.